If you're trying to build the best mid-range PC in 2026 and you have between 1,000 and 1,500 bucks to spend in your system, then you are in the right place. I will show you the best gaming PCs between these price ranges that are going to be amazing for gaming, especially for the price that you are paying. So if you're looking for a good price to performance PC, this video will be for you. I will show you the expected level of gaming performance in different monitor resolutions such as 1080p, 1440p and 4K in different types of games. And by the way, you will find a link to every PC down below in the video description box with the latest prices and availability in your region. My name is Valentino. That being said, let's start. Let's start by talking about a $1,000 PC. If you have $1,000 to spend, you can actually get a very decent mid-range computer for 1080p resolution. This PC has an i5 12600KF, which in my opinion is the best CPU that you can buy right now if you want a mid-range computer, because you can fit DDR4 memory, which is much cheaper than DDR5. That being said, this i5 processor is also quite fast when it comes to any high CPU demanding title, especially esports shooters, so you can easily fit a 240Hz refresh rate display if you want to play esports games like Valorant, for example, or Counter-Strike 2. Now, for the graphics card, I went with the Intel ARC B580 because of two things. First of all, it has 12GB of VRAM, which is going to be nice if you want to play high demanding games at 1080p, and they do require more than 8GB of VRAM because here you will have no limitations. And the second thing is that the price for the B580 is quite cheaper than the NVIDIA alternative in the RTX 5060. Combine that with the VRAM, it makes it a better deal in my opinion for the price of 300 bucks. Now, the B580 is not the best GPU out there when it comes to pure performance, but it's going to get the job done, especially at 1080p resolution. You will have no issues when it comes to most games, high to ultra settings. That's why this is a very nice mid-range graphics card to play at 1080p. You can also run some games at 1440p if you're playing very easy to run games like GTA 5, for example, or a game like Minecraft. You will have no issues when it comes to those games, even at 1440p on high to ultra settings, or even higher demanding games like Red Dead Redemption 2 if you are using the right settings. So overall, this is a very nice mid-range CPU and GPU combo, and then the rest of the components are quite important as well. So here I went with 32GB of DDR4 memory, which is going to make it an amazing streaming and content creation PC as well, because having 32GB of RAM is definitely better than having 16GB of RAM in case you want to do more than just gaming, or if you want to keep a bunch of tabs open. On top of that, you get an aftermarket CPU cooler for those CPU temps, and you also get nice airflow because the case is the Bitfinex Nova Mesh. I like this case quite a lot because it's quite cheap at around 50 bucks, and it's going to give you plenty of airflow, which is the main thing here. You will have no issues when it comes to CPU or GPU temps. Inside of this system, you also get Wi-Fi included because of the motherboard selection, a 1TB SSD, which is the standard for gaming nowadays, and a 650W power supply that's very well rated, especially for this type of build. Now, the price for this PC by the time of filming is 1,020 bucks, which makes it, in my opinion, the best $1,000 PC that you can build right now if you want a mid-range computer. Or should I say just the best one, because you cannot get better performance for the same price. Now, if you want a mid-range PC, but this time for 1440p, so you want to play high demanding games at 1440p, maybe high to ultra settings and still achieve great performance, but you want it at a decent price of under $1,200, I do recommend you switching the graphics card that I chose in the Intel ARC B580 to the RX 9060 XT 16GB model from AMD. This graphics card, in my opinion, is the best price to performance GPU in the entire market at the moment, because it has a decent price compared to other GPUs that you can get right now with the same performance like the RTX 5060 Ti, and it has amazing gaming performance. You will be achieving over 80 FPS on average on high to ultra settings in high demanding games at 1440p, and if you play at 1080p right now and you're going to be upgrading eventually to 1440p, you will be achieving even higher frame rates, so you will be basically maxing out 1080p resolution. And you can also play at 4K. Just like I said before, if you play very easy to run games like GTA 5 or Minecraft or Roblox, these types of games you can easily play at 4K without any issues. Or even higher demanding games if you are using the right settings. Now, for the rest of the components inside of this system, you basically get the same as the last ones in the i5 12600KF, which is a great CPU because you can fit DDR4 memory, 32GB of RAM for that sweet streaming and content creation performance, plenty of airflow with a different case right now in the Okinos Aqua 3. This one, in my opinion, looks a little bit nicer than the last one, and it also has plenty of airflow. And by the way, you also get an aftermarket CPU cooler just like before. Last but not least, you also get a 1TB SSD and a 650W power supply. The price comes at $1,167 by the time of filming, 6.7 by the way, and this is an amazing price for a 1440p mid-range system, especially compared to other PCs that you can get right now. You can also go DDR5 if you want faster memory speeds, and if you you want a more upgradable path for around $140 more. By doing so, you will go with an AMD Ryzen 5 9600X, which is actually a faster CPU than the i5 processor, and it also gives you plenty of extra upgradability over time because you are on the AM5 platform. So let's say that down the line you want to upgrade your CPU to the fastest one in the entire market in the 9850X3D. You can do so without having to switch the platform, whereas if you go with Intel, you will have to go with a different platform down the line if you want to fit the fastest CPU. This will make a CPU upgrade much easier down the line, and you also get more performance right now, especially in high CPU demanding games or esports shooters, which will require a little bit more from your CPU. And of course, if you make this upgrade, you get 32 gigs of DDR5 memory instead of DDR4, so faster memory speeds, and you still get Wi-Fi included from a more premium motherboard compared to the one from Intel. The total price for this PC, if you go with DDR5, will be $1,300, and you still get great gaming performance for 1440p and even slightly better performance because of the CPU upgrade. And then if you have around $1,500 to spend, you can actually get a mid-range 4K PC or high-end 1440p one, because you can get DDR5 with the 9600X once again, which is an amazing CPU as I said before, but here you get the RX 9070 graphics card, which in my opinion is one of the best GPUs out there, especially if you want to play at 1440p very high frame rates. You can literally achieve around 100 plus FPS on average at 1440p on high ultra settings in high demanding games, and over 60 plus FPS at 4K, or even higher performance if you are using the right settings or FSR, which is the upscaling technology from AMD. So here you are getting a very nice mid-range 4K system, but you can also play at very high frame rates if you have a 1440p monitor at the moment. I also went with a different case for this system in the AMD Vector B100R. This is the current case I have for my PC, and I absolutely love it. I think it looks amazing, it has plenty of airflow, and the price is very decent. Here I also went with a more upgraded motherboard with Wi-Fi included as well in the Asus TUF B850 Extreme. This one has some amazing features for gaming, and it's going to be very easy to upgrade down the line in case you want to switch from the Ryzen 5 processor to a Ryzen 7 or a Ryzen 9. And then for the rest of the components, you get an 850 watt power supply, a 1TB SSD, and aftermarket CPU cooler. So you will have amazing airflow, a great cooling system, and overall amazing performance for either 1440p or 4K. The price goes for $1,540 by the time of filming. Maybe when you're watching this, the price will be a little bit different. It might be more expensive or it might be cheaper. So I highly recommend you checking the latest prices and availability from the links down below in the video description. So those were my favorite PCs that you can build right now from $1,000 to around $1,500. By the way, you can get a pre-built system right now for around the same price point that is actually going to be better, because yes, some pre-built computers as of right now are better when it comes to price to performance, which I know it does sound surprising, but this is due to memory prices. So maybe you don't want to build a PC yourself, getting a pre-built PC is better than ever. So I made an entire guide talking about the best pre-built computers of the month for every budget and every resolution. I will leave that video in the top right corner of the screen. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.